Hey guys, it's me again. Wixler What Ifs. Where I last left off, let's see. Checking. Where I last left off, Deku and Ida, or Death and War, met Hawks, because guess what? A Hawks is a half angel. Then you have. They met Mina, finally, or Fury, whichever you wish to call them. They met her. And she taught them how to summon their weapons, because they never really figured out they could. So, yeah. Ida's now got Chaos Eater. There we go. Chaos Eater, and now Death can summon his twin sides. And Fury, of course, has her whip. But, as I digress, they all know each other now, and now the question in their minds is, where is Strife? Who did he go to? As we cut across town, so a girl is going, someone's talking about me. As it's like, yeah. But anyways. Alright, as I continue, this dog is trying to jump on me. No. But, yeah. We go on with the story as they learn to start. They figured, we can summon our weapons. What else could we summon? As the sort of raises their eyebrows and. Sorry, I had to go away for a little bit. But they've learned how to summon the horses, the actual horses. For the three of them, War, Death, and Fury. From first to last, that's how I've introduced the horsemen. War has Ruin, Death has Despair, and Fury has Rampage. Now, originally, Rampage is killed in the Darksiders 3. Spoiler alert, but the game's been out for a little bit. But they figured out how to resummon them, and Fury was actually overjoyed because she actually quite liked Ruin. As well, she sort of runs up to him and gives him a big hug as Rampage is like, this is weird, this is not the Fury I know. And she's like, I've missed you, you stubborn little horse. As, I don't know if the horsemen can understand their horses, like telepathically. But I'm gonna say they have some form of base as as Rampage returns to love and kind, as he tries to scoop her up, but she's like, all right, as she jumps on his back. How about we go for an overdue ride? As they both ride off, as we'll be back in a little bit. Some catching up to do. As Deku or Death, I don't know. Anytime I use one of the horsemen's name, I'm talking about the character that they've sort of been merged with, alright? That's just how it's gonna be. Sorry. As he speaks, he's like, very well, Fury. Good luck. It's like, no problem, Death. As they ride off, as War is patting Ruin on his face. He's like, it's been too long, old friend. As he's like, as he feels what the horse is wondering, he's like, if I knew I could summon you, I would have done it. The creator really didn't put in the thing that we were getting all our powers and abilities. It's like, it's just like, don't call me an idiot, or think I'm an idiot. As Death just starts laughing, he's like, Despair, can you believe it? He's arguing with his own horse. This is quite funny. As Despair just sort of shakes his head, as Death just laughs even more. I have missed you, Despair. As he jumps on his back, how about we go for a ride as well? We shall meet back here before sundown, correct? As Ida says, very well, brother. See you in a while. It's like, yes, same to you, brother. So, as they leave, he's like, so, where do you want to go? He's like, like, very well. As they set off, going to wherever it is that they may go. Oh, that's cool. But, as they ride off, they don't notice some figures are watching them as they split off. As War says, it just feels just right being like this, Ruin. As they're all having their like little serene moments, like this feels right. Continuously. Sorry for the yawn. A video would not be complete without one yawn. I feel like that's a thing now. But, anyways, aside from that, Deku goes on with his, life. They don't go on with their life. As the three of them separated, War's like, we're being followed, Ruin. Stay at the ready. As Ruin just sort of lets out like a little huff. He's like, and all the horsemen notice this as Fury is like, these fools think they can really sneak up on a horseman. The tales of us must have brought us really low. As Fury thinks this, an arrow goes whizzing right past her and smashes into a tree. She's like, well, this arrow is not any normal one. As she looks up to where the cliff was, as she sees a demon there with a gigantic bow. As it lets off a roar, dozens of demons come sliding down the rock face. As she's like, finally, some entertainment. As she takes out her whip and rides on Rampage's back, heading straight for that little horde of demons coming straight at her. As Death is moving his way, he's like, As he casts some necromancy to resurrect some of the animals nearby, such as like a couple of birds or the like, to give him like a bird's eye view, as he can somewhat see what's going on through their eyes. He's like, shadow demons. They seek to sneak up on Death. Quite amusing. As he uses one of his abilities that he still has, he outstretches his hand, and a purple ghost-like appendage shoots out and grabs onto a branch. As he swings on it, as he goes, does a full like rotation on it, and then launches him straight at one of the first shadow demons. As he takes out his sides, or takes out his first scythe, and slams it straight down the demon, like straight down the middle of the demon. As he says, if you wish to sneak up on Death, you're gonna have to be a whole lot quieter. As he lets out a chuckle, he's like, nobody sneaks up on me. As then War just simply stops, gets off his horse and says, go Ruin, I shall see to our guest. As he goes on to grab to his bag and pulls out Chaos Eater, as he shouts out, demons! I know you hide! Come out and face me like an actual warrior. As the demons hear this, or are you too much of a coward to do so? As one of the demons step out, he's like, nothing too special. As then another, and another, and another. There's around 30 demons staring straight at him, and these are not like some petty little demons. These are some pretty decent ones, as they got heavy armor and some decent looking weapons. As he's like, So he lets a smirk come across his face. He's like, come, let us share battle. Let us share this battlefield. As he charges straight at them, as the demons let off a roar and start charging forward as well. As the demon or the person that's overlooking this is like, these three are quite powerful. As he looks over to where Fury is, as she just uses her whip and slices through 3 demons that just lunged at her. She's like, these fools think they can easily match a horseman, let alone one of the stronger of the horsemen, as she still thinks highly of herself. She thinks she is one of the tougher of the 4 horsemen. She has a little bit of that pride left, where she doesn't think, oh, I'm the greatest of the horsemen. No, she believes she can beat quite a few of them, but she doesn't believe she can beat Death. As War lets out, as we cut over to War, he's letting out like a massive battle roar as he smashes Chaos Eater down, as those same swords that he saved Hawks with protrude out, impaling over a dozen demons. As he's like, yes, come! battle is the greatest. Dying in battle is the greatest of honors. As in, you look over to Death, and he's just sort of dead silent. He jumps over to one area and uses his scythe and throws it, impaling a demon inside of a tree. He summons a couple of ghouls that start tearing apart other ones. He may have the least amount of demons, but the ones facing him are a different kind of tough. They can blend into the shadows and are very, very fast. As Death sort of finishes off the head one, he's like, I should probably go check up on War and Fury, though I highly doubt that they've had any trouble. These demons are coordinated, yes, but they would probably have to send the entirety of what they brought against the three of us and try to use it on one horseman. They probably thought, oh, we'd take him by surprise, as he summons despair. Horsemen always expect a fight. These ones. Have demons lost their intelligence since I've been reincarnated? As he rides off to where they once were. War is coming as well, and his sword is dripping with guts. And then Fury comes by as she's smiling as Death says, I suppose you two came into trouble as well. She's like, indeed, but they were nothing of worth, really. I'm like, truly? Yeah. Actually kind of made me sleepy. As War says, nah, for me it was quite invigorating. Haven't had an actual battle in ages. It's like, what about you, Death? He's like, they sent assassins after me. She's like, are you quite alright? He's like, of course, I'm Death. They thought they could sneak up on me. Idiots. It's like, so who do you think arranged this? As in, a figure comes crashing down as it says, who do you think, horseman? As Death sort of as Fury rolls her eyes, she's like, oh god. It's like, as Death and War turn their heads and they look at him, he's like, Semiel. He's like, it's good to see the horsemen still recognize my face. So, what brings you about this nice little stroll you have? It's like, do not mess with us, Semiel. As he's like, very well. But I came to see if the rumors were true, and it seems they are. The horsemen have returned, albeit in a different form. Tell me, how is it to be a part of a larger race again? As Fury rolls her eyes, as Death says, what do you want, Semiel? He's like, just a good greetings, welcome you back to the living world. It's like, yeah, and I also have a question. Would you be up for dealing with something for me? It threatens the balance, of course. It's like, what is it, Semiel? I've heard rumors that some angels and demons are starting to call this world home. It's like, yes, and so? Well, I also heard those angels and demons are starting to breed with the humans. Though that itself may not bring a disruption to the balance. I believe there's a few angels and demons who have caught themselves fancying one another. He's like, you do not mean... Ah, yes. I think they may even bring back the Nephilim. As they all look at each other, the Nephilim. This would be bad, as he's like, just a bit of information I thought you know. As we all know what happened to the last time the Nephilim were around. We exterminated them. As War says, we exterminated them, Semiel. And none were left aside from us. He's like, true. But what if those same forces were to rise again? Could you do it a second time? As Death states this plainly, if it comes to that, Semiel, we will deal with it ourselves. But until that is proven, I suggest you leave Earth. You are not allowed to be here. Remember? He's like, I remember. Farewell, little horseman. I return to my kingdom, as he sinks beneath the earth in a very fiery, like a little, pretty much like Scorpion. He just, boop. As they're like, what should we do with this information, brother? He's like, Death says, if it is true that Nephilim start popping out again, we may be able to change it this time. It's like, what do you mean? They had no guidance last time. They were thrown into a world of conflict, and so they adapted. Very well. We can maybe show them a different way this time. Maybe the humans and demons have also gained knowledge of what not to do. I can only hope you're right, brother, War replies, and Fury's like, oh well, as she cracks her neck, I gotta get home. There's school tomorrow, and there's a test. It's like, test. You take the test, Fury? She's like, I'm experiencing the full life of a human. Do not shame me for that. And he's like, we would never, sister. He's like, well, we all must be attending our lives, shall we not? He's like, aye, brother. As they all leave and set out, I don't think I have the horsemen's ages. Good. Alright, sweet. I'm not putting myself in a box. Sweet. But anyways, as they all ride off, they all, get back to their homes. Like, oh, so how'd you enjoy hanging out with your friends today? Blah, blah, blah. That sort of whole thing. As Deku and all of them are waiting. Not Deku and all of them are waiting. Deku is thinking about what Semiel told them, and he's like, we shall wait and see. The Nephilim become a problem. We'll deal with it. But until then, as he feels around the place where he had this talisman that had all the souls, and it broke and the shards went into his chest. So we could somewhat feel the Nephilim soul and all that. Nephilim souls. As he feels around that spot, he's like, and he had birthmarks where he was born that stood right there. As he says, we may not have to make the same thing again. As he closes his eyes and lays down to go to bed. As we cut a couple of weeks from there, as they can go on, Deku actually is one night just wandering around at night. He's like, couldn't sleep. But sometimes these memories are weird. As he rubs his head, he still remembers stories from time to time. Like the time he fought a kraken for something, but he couldn't remember why he had to fight a kraken. Specifically to get its tongue. As he's like, oh well, I'll remember someday. As he goes around the corner, as he hears some screaming of a girl, like as a girl is actually like, or somebody is just stuck there running away. As she runs into him, as Deku is pretty tall in this, as she bumps into him and falls down on her back. As she looks at him, and then Deku, or Death, looks where she was running from, as he sees a couple of figures standing there, as he's like, hey buddy, would you mind moving aside? As the girl goes to run behind him, he's like, who are you, and state your business. And it's like, oh, professional are we? Alright. Hi, I'm the leader of this gang. We're here for that girl. Fuck off or die. As Death just goes like, I find you quite amusing, whoever your name is. I'll give you this one chance to turn around and leave. He's like, oh, no, can't do, buddy. Didn't you just hear me? We're after her. Move out of the way, or we're gonna fucking kill you. As Deku says, it is such a shame that not all humans have stayed true to the lessons the four horsemen planted before us. As he's like, those horsemen weren't even human. Why should we follow their rules? As Deku looks up, as he somewhat does something, he remembers that he had a mask before, as he sort of summons it to his face, as the bone white thing summons to his face. As he looks at the person and says, "'Cause they never left." As he summons his scythes and throws one, impaling the guy right next to the boss. He said, as he summons his skeletal arm thing, he takes it and pretty much swipes it to the right, smashing those guys into the wall. As he retrieves his scythe from the first guy, as he's like, "Now, death is the executioner of all." As he looks at to the woman, he's like, "Leave. I shall deal with these four." So he sizes them up. As two of the guys are looking at him like they are enraged, like thinking, "Who the hell is this guy?" And the other one's like looking down, just sort of praying so much. As he's like, "Look at me, boy." This guy is actually quite a bit younger. He's like about maybe 15. The rest of the guys are like in their 20s. He's like, "What is your name? Speak before I withdraw my soon-to-be proposal." Tommy. Well, Tommy, why are you hanging around the... As he looks at him, he's like, "Don't you say a word, Tommy." As then Daft summons another hand that just wraps around all their mouths. He's like, "Why are you here?" "They said if I join their little gang that they'll leave my family alone." He's like, "Surely." He's like, "Mm-hmm." As he's just shaking his head up and down, up and down. It's like, As someone dissipates that arm and lets Tommy go, he's like, do not let me see you among criminals again. Otherwise, I will not be as forgiving." It's like, "Yes, and don't tell anyone about this either." He's like, "Oh, of course, Death." He's like, "Death? Well, you just look like a picture I've seen before." He's like, "You ain't wrong." As then he takes his scythes, combines it, and swipes to the right, cutting off the heads of the gang members. As he says, "Remember what I said, Tommy. I will not be merciful next time." As he swallows his spit, he's like, "Yes, sir. Now be gone." As Tommy bolts off, as he just says, well, as he summons his weapon, he's like, "Hopefully the blood does not stay." As he walks off, going back home, he's like, "I think that was an eventful night." And that's where I think I'm going to end this one off. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Hope you guys continue to enjoy this. Hope you guys have a nice day, nice night, nice life.